Y'all call me drinking my water. Listen, happy Friday, everybody. I'm so glad it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm glad to see y'all in the building. Don't play your sister out. Y'all know what you got to do. Purchase your ticket for the Diva Train because we got some stuff to talk about. You know, this is the day that so many people were waiting for. Riri, thank you. I love you back, okay? Thank you for loving the show and thank you for being here. Hit that like button, everybody. So, listen, hi, everybody. I see y'all's Friday night, okay? We're doing Friday night trending topics. That's right. Choo, choo. So, Carlee Russell, she turned herself in today and they put some charges against her, right? We're going to have to talk about this because, honey, her mugshot doesn't look like a lady that was in distress. Okay, I feel like she playing in our face, but that's my opinion. We're going to talk about it, though, and y'all going to let me know yours, all right? So we're going to talk about Carlee Russell and her parents, okay? We got to talk about this 5-year-old that unfortunately unalived his 16-month-old brother. Honey, they said, come on now, glamour shot, Celia, the ridiculous, okay? They said that the 5-year-old was on the cocoa. Okay, was high on the cocoa, okay, the sugar, the booger sugar, okay? And then unfortunately, the younger brother didn't make it, and they said he had traces of marijuana in his system. That's why this trending topic is called What About the Parents? What about the parents? What kind of nonsense is that? Now, y'all know I love my airplane issues. You know, an airline, they for the food got spoiled, so they had to serve the people some KFC. Everybody got one piece of KFC on the 12-hour flight. We're going to talk about it, okay? And then you know what we got to talk about? Because again, what about the parents? Our president, you know, he had issues parenting his son, apparently, but I ain't judging. But he can't even parent the furry friends, the four-legged animals. Why are the dogs over there in the White House biting people? We're going to talk about it, people. We got stuff to talk about. It is Friday night trending topics. And y'all know, come on now, Sheila, what about the parents, okay? Biden can't even be a parent to a four-legged animal over there. The dog over there biting everybody up in the White House. Have you ever heard of some nonsense like that? What was Obama's dog name? Yeah, Commander. Yeah, he over there biting people. He being a mess, Commander. Over there biting the people, okay? Yeah, Hunter and the dog's running loose. I'm trying to tell you. And listen, what was Obama's dog name? Now, Obama ain't never bite nobody. That dog didn't never bite nobody. He getting these, I think there's a German, what is it? A German Shepherd, and he's over there biting people. Yeah, not the dogs. The dogs over there in the White House chomping on people. Okay? Now listen. All right. Hey, Diva, love you. I discovered you on Sherelle's World, but now I can't. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's my bull. Don't do that. Okay. So thanks for being here. So listen, everybody, I'm about to board this train. So you know what we gotta do? Y'all gotta give me a one in the chat. A choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It's Friday night trending topics. And over here, we catch the train. We don't catch feelings, okay? And after we have it out on this train ride, at the end of the day, we all fall back in love with each other and we go and mind our business, okay? But you got to stand your ground when you get on this train, and the platform is full on Friday night, okay? So here we go. Hey, Roy.
Hey, Auntie Diva. Hey, beautiful people. Listen, it's going to be a night to remember, okay?
Ooh, a night to remember. You better talk about it, Sebastian. Hey,
Hey,
Sebastian.
I
Hey,
love the Barbie in the box for you.
Thank
he
Diva, I
showing
have your
you.
off.
girl as my profile pic.
He's showing off.
Hey
He's showing
everybody.
off. Hey,
Hey Diva and
everybody.
everybody.
Hey
Listen,
listen tonight. I ain't got the time for the foolishness. Y'all see the display name? No
what
time
was
for
she?
foolery.
Uh-oh.
No time for. Well, you better talk to Carlee because she up there taking glamour shots at.
Girl, she about to make the Medea come out of me, honey.
Child. Now listen, guys, the platform is full. We're gonna go ahead and get this night started, okay? It is Friday night trending topics, okay? And we hope that we start your weekend off nicely. Now, this Carlee Russell, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because I think that mugshot is gonna come back to bite her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's my thought, right? Look at Carlee Russell charged for fake abduction tale. If you
let me shut up.
this little thing right here that says mugshot, you would never know. It's a shame. This girl is beautiful and she messed up her life. Okay, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and this is natural face, honey. She better come through. She got some lip gloss on, and this is her natural hair. Because you know what? When you take a mugshot, you cannot have anything on your head. Not a wig, not a toupee, nothing. It will make you take it off. So they prepared for her to come in and take this mugshot. Look at her. Okay? You listen, if this was my daughter, and the lawyer, he get an F on this part too. Because if this is my daughter or my client, I would have said, cry all night, watch some sad movies, cry all night, stay up all night so your eyes could be bloodshot and looking baggy because we telling the people you going through something. Right here, she looked like she good. Like everything is all good, okay? So Carlee Russell's attorney, Emery Anthony, tells TMZ, what we're dealing with is a young lady who made a huge mistake. That's an understatement. She's been arrested and she's been charged and she's eager to finish up and be through with it. Well, girlfriend, you was missing for 49 hours. So don't be trying to rush us through the process now. No, ma'am.
And we still don't know your whereabouts. Still don't know your whereabouts.
You better say it, Roy. We still don't know what's good, okay? So no, we're not going to hurry up and finish this up and be through with it. No, you're going to wait, boo. And you're going to pay the price, okay? She's dealing with some issues. Well, you know what? She better write a book because when you look this good right here and you dealing with some issues, you handling those issues pretty well as far as I'm concerned. Very well. He concluded, we look forward to going to court. Who looks forward to going to court when they know they lied? So, Anne-Marie, I'm going to need you to fix up your words too. You look forward to going to court. You ain't ready though. Carlee Russell is now facing criminal prosecution, and it's all because police say she completely fabricated the wild kidnapping story, prompting a massive, and they said expensive search. See how they threw that word in there? Okay, prosecutors in Hoover and Alabama just charged Carlee with 2 misdemeanors: false reporting to law enforcement authorities and falsely reporting of an incident. Each charge carries up to 1 year in jail. This man right here, he's a smooth operator, okay? And you could tell at this particular press conference, he was pissed. And you want to know why he was pissed? Because he tried to hand it over to another district where she probably could have possibly been charged with some higher level of things, but they gave it back to him. So they can only charge it with these lower things. Let me see. I'll play a little bit. Let me see. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I got to skip the commercial. Hold on, guys. I don't know if I'm going to skip it. I'll skip it later and come back. Okay, we can't be playing commercials. Hoover Police Chief Nick and Carlee turned herself in and was released from jail Friday after posting a $2,000 bond. As you know, Carlee called 911 early this month when she was driving down the interstate to report a toddler wandering alongside the road. She got out of her car and disappeared for 2 days before showing up at her parents' house without such a scratch. Do you hear that? She didn't have a scratch on her. So that tells you right there, she wasn't roughing it in the streets. She came home just as pretty as her skin looks in that picture right there. That's how she came home. Okay. Anyway, so somebody helped her. And guess what? That man right there, he won't find out. Since then, the police have said the investigation shows there was no toddler on the highway and Carlee was not abducted. And she and her parents claim, and then Carlee finally admitted it was all a phony story. Prosecutors tell us they still don't know where Carlee was during the roughly 48-hour period. She was off the grid. Ditto for the police, who spent tons of money and resources searching for her. That's the boyfriend that first he supported her, then he dumped her, and now, he's not on her side. That's an update right there. And do you know the latest situation? this girl can face up to 2 years behind bars. In my opinion, they going put the book on her. They going to slam it to her because she played in their face and they're sick of her. And today you can see in that conference that they're sick of her. All right, Royer, what are your thoughts?
I personally feel like what happened today was satisfying for me. I think that they charged her exactly with what they could charge her, and that was the purpose of this investigation, was to, file charges if there were charges needed to be filed. And she did create a false police report. She did create a false missing persons report. So I feel like the charges that were filed today were in good standings. I like the way that they have handled this case. I will say, for them to try to continue to push for more, I think it's a bit much. I think that, 2 years for what she did, if she gets that amount of time, I think that's good. And if they do decide to look at the law differently, they need to file her with what's current in place right now. I do think the law needs to be relooked at and more time needs to be added so that people do not attempt to do this again. But as far as what happened today, I was satisfied.
Okay, I appreciate your thoughts. Sebastian, I'm coming to you, but give me 1 second. I think I queued it up to where I wanted to queue it up, just to give people a little reminder. Let's see.
Detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of Carlee Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation, as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. Numerous law enforcement agencies, both local and federal, began working tirelessly not only to bring Carlee home to her family, but locate a kidnapper that we know now never existed. Many private citizens volunteered their time and energy into looking for a potential kidnapping victim that we know now was never in any danger. This afternoon, Carlee Russell, with the assistance of her attorney, turned herself into the Hoover City Jail, where she was arrested for the following charges: false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor, $1,000 bond; falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond. Each of these charges carry up to a year in jail and potential fine of $6,000 upon conviction. Ms. Russell was released from jail after posting bond. We initially presented this case to District Attorney Lanice Washington, who agreed to handle prosecution through district court. After consulting with the Circuit Court of Jefferson County Bessemer Division, the case was referred back to municipal court for charging because the only applicable charges were misdemeanors. Judging from the amount of phone calls and emails that we've received from people all over the country, I know many are shocked and appalled that Ms. Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused. Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration, but existing laws only allow the charges that were filed to be filed. I can tell you that I will be contacting our state legislatures on behalf of law enforcement in Montgomery and asking them to look at this law applied to these facts and urge them to add an enhancement to current legislation when somebody falsely reports kidnapping or another violent crime.
Who child? You see that, man? Now she done messed it up for everybody out there because they're going to look into the laws and change the laws. She messed it up for a whole bunch of people. Okay? Sebastian, go ahead. You're up.
Okay. I agree. They should only throw the charges that they can with the current laws that they have. So she's facing 2 years and $6,000 and a fine. I hope that she does some jail time. It doesn't have to be a lot. Like I think 30 days to 90 days is okay since it's her first time doing something like this. But also, I know some people are going to say, well, there's Karens in Times Square who do similar things. No, in Central Park do certain similar things. Well, New York is not like the South. New York is very lenient in terms of executing law on people. It's something that we all know. Blue states are the better states to do crime. Sorry to say, it's just the truth because you most likely are at a chance of not facing that much time. So I just hope that there's more that comes out in the current investigation that they're doing, and we don't know within that 49 hours if she reveals where she is and the police find out that she's done other crimes within that 49 hours, it could be worse for Carlee. So the people defending her better pray that nothing comes out, that she's done something within that 49 hours that she was missing. She's a beautiful girl, and she just ruined her life, because I don't think you can practice nursing with a misdemeanor now. With those,
even finish nursing school, to be honest with you. I'm just wondering where she's going to work. I wonder where she's going to work. And Roy and I was watching the actual press conference in real time. And can I tell you, the people in the comments were on fire. So
yes, they were.
I don't even know if her parents and her are going to be able to stay in that community. She messed it up for herself. She messed it up for her family. And I believe that at some point the family knew and they got involved and they went to save their daughter.
She should have came clean at the beginning, in my opinion. She should have came clean at the beginning. Once she came back home, she should have said, you know what? I have never been kidnapped or anything. I just wanted to take a breather or something. She should have came clean at the beginning. But no, that's not what she did. She continued to go on with the lies, have her parents up on national TV, continuing on with the lies again, which is just going to make everything look horrible.
Yes. Okay, in my opinion, I'm coming to you, but first I'm going to play this video for y'all, right? So Carlee Russell leaves her attorney office. It's not sound really. You're going to see her leaving with her mom, with her dad. And see, I think his assistants that are helping them, like, they're enjoying this because it's a high profile case for them, but they need to learn how to do a poker face, because what are you smiling about? This is a serious situation. So let's watch this. That's the lawyer. That's mom in the pink. That's another person working with the lawyer. No, you're supposed to come out like dad with your game face and your head down. And that's
that's the brother.
That's the dad.
No, the brother's the. Oh yeah, that was the dad. Oh,
that's the dad, and that's Carlee right there. And that's the dad opening her car for her, and she getting in. And I'm sure this is so embarrassing for the dad. It was embarrassing for their whole family, period. So that's just them leaving the office there, the lawyer's office, okay? And now you causing your family all this money, because you want to play games. In my opinion, left. Okay, Felicia, what are your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a good week. Going to have a good weekend. So we know, for me, after 15 days, I'm out of grace for Carlee. But I do agree with Royer that the charges are appropriate and they're fair. And I'm content where we are. I was very disturbed that she hadn't had to be held accountable, but she had to come in. God bless the family that they had the means to hire such a good attorney, because it's that attorney that got them to the place that they are right now. As far as things going forward, her mother is in trouble. I don't know how complicit the father was, but I know the mother was. And I did listen intently to that press conference, and there was a question about additional charges. And, the chief said, the DA is doing all of the interrogation. They're going through. They still don't know about the 49 hours. And I really find that difficult to believe. I think they do know some things, but they want to be factual when they come forward. But I do agree with Royer, and I'm sorry that she is still in a place. I don't know. Maybe she's medicated, that she had that little grin on her face. I don't know. I'm not taking it one way or the other. I'm just glad she showed up.
Yeah. She ain't had no choice, but yes, but I do understand what you're saying. E, what are your thoughts?
First of all, do I sound like I'm in the Holland Tunnel?
No, you sound fine.
Okay, because I'm driving. So here's the thing. That girl should not have been made to show up. We don't need to see her right now. And some people smile because they're nervous. She's anxious. All of this attention, she's being scrutinized. And I feel like 2 years is excessive. Give me a break. I think it's wrong at all. The most, sorry,
Yeah, you broke up a little bit too, E, but go ahead.
that was Sebastian driving past. I think that 2 years time is the most. I'm thinking 90 days. 90 days tops. Let her pay that $6,000. I mean, and let this girl move on with her life. They're sensationalizing this story and making it salacious. They're trying to go back in and change the law so that they can give her more charges. No, forget about that. Everybody understands that she's going to be the first. She's going to be made an example. We don't need to put sprinkles on top of it. We don't need to agitate it and make it more than what it is. Bad behavior can stand on its own as bad behavior. We don't need the sprinkles. And so I really, 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 I'm against her having jail time. Give her probation, give her community service. But I don't think that we are being fair with this, because for me, okay, we know it was a hoax now. Let's move on with our lives. The same way that people move on when they find out their man cheating on them. I mean, come on. We are villainizing this woman and giving her more harsh penalty. And there are men who fake their whole lives every day. There are women who say they went to nursing school and didn't go. There was something on the news about that, and you're working on people. You're in the operating room. Like, there are people who do worse things. This is a waste of the court's time. Nobody got hurt, thank God. Now let's move on with our lives.
Okay, E. Wayne said, so when they find out where she was, what then? Well, I'm going to tell you what then, Wayne, because what they're saying is that the parents allegedly, but you know, there's so many rumors going around, but what they're saying is that she was in an empty house that the parents owned and was trying to sell, or she was somewhere like that. And I think the what then is, then they're going to take down, as a result of her not being 100% forthcoming in this situation right now. Notice their statement. Go back to the original statement the lawyer wrote and submitted to the Hoover Police Department. They said they made sure that they noted in there that she did this alone. And me, just life in general, there's no way she did this alone. No way she did this alone. Someone and even if nobody helped her on that physical day, somebody helped her plot and plan this out. And she had to have done some type of dry run to figure out how she was going to get from that highway down to wherever she got to. And she had to have done it quickly, because she called the cops and they was already on their way. So this was quick, fast, in a hurry. So then what is, other people going to go down for her nonsense. And it's a whole hot mess. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you, Sheila. Where am I at? Dustin, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this, but I think she's getting what she deserves. I think that she deserves to be and get some kind of punishment for what she done, because I think that what she done was wrong. Yeah, I might be by myself tonight, but that's how I feel. That's all I'm gonna say, Diva.
Thank you so much. Sheila, did I come to you because my screen shifted?
No, ma'am, you didn't.
Okay.
What I'm going to say about it is the key word was when he said he was going to see what kind of extensions they can put on that law. So that's the key word. I think they fully know and have an idea where she was those 49 hours. They are waiting to make sure they can say for sure that she had a burner phone, that she ordered food. They're going to figure out who purchased that burner phone. It's kind of similar to the Tim Norman case with Sweetie Pies. They had actual places who purchased what and where. And that's where they're going to get her. And as far as the mother is concerned, if my daughter was in a situation like that, the last thing I'm going to do is show up in a hot pink dress
Come on.
to draw attention. We're going to all have on black, and I'm like you. Her eyes should have been bloodshot. She's smiling. She has no idea what's ahead of her. And everybody who thought that a little smack on the hand would do her good, it won't. She'll do it again in some other kind of fashion, because there's no way with everything that's going on that she should have never smiled. And I get being nervous, but you don't smile in a situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of hoping that she learns from this lesson. From what's about to happen to her, but I don't think so.
I feel not either. And I feel like someone should have been coaching her before they went to turn her in.
Mm-hmm. And you can't blame the attorney, because guess what? He did his job. He was paid and he did his job. And I get that we want to coddle her. And I'm not being harsh on her because she is Black. If it was anyone else, I would still feel the same. But she has no remorse for it.
I feel like she doesn't. And I think he partially did his job, right? Because the last piece of it, he dropped the ball. That mother should not have had on pink, in my opinion. And in addition to that, he should have told that girl, when you go in there, they're going to have to take your picture for a mugshot. Whatever you do, don't be smiling. You play the game a little bit better. But I don't know. We're going to see. Start giving her the attention she wants. You know what, though? She can get on. We can talk about this story in discussion, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to be real. See, the lawyer already knew this. He knew that she was going to be booked, and he knew they was going to bond her out that day. Very fortunate, right? But here's the thing. After they have their day in court, she's not going to get bonded out that day. That's when life is going to get real for that sister.
Exactly.
That's when life is going to get real for that sister. And see, to me, I would have tried to work something out without going to court. Because the last thing you want is some jury to be trying to help decide how you're going to pay. Already, I'm telling you right now, the people not feeling her.
No.
They're not feeling her at all. So whatever the max is that she can get, they're going to slam it to her. Go ahead, Julius. You're up.
This heifer, I'ma say it. She a heifer. This heifer. Let me just share a story. Now, when I was young, I was a kid. Accidentally, I called the police. Didn't do this, though. They happened to call back just to make sure everything was okay. My dad picked up the phone. He said, yes, my son called by accident. He gave me such a talking to. You don't do that. Even if it's bad, you don't do that unless you actually need them. As this was going on, I was thinking of that. This girl had no shame. No, this heifer. She had no shame. None. And so I'm not going to say to go lightly on her. She knew what she was doing. It came out, she planned this. We can't have rose-colored glasses with some of those, even in the chat and the community, just because she Black. I would be saying the same thing if she wasn't Black. Let's just keep it a buck. She took away time and resources that could have been going to the actual young lady whose parents spoke out who was actually missing. Now the search in her case is being more delayed because of this heifer. So like I said in my display name, no time for the foolery.
Yeah, thank you, Julius. Obi says sometimes attention-seeking acts are subtle cries for help, for something else. Not saying this applies to Carlee, but I'm just saying you are 100% correct, right? And so, but the thing is, when this was far less than a subtle cry. She did a lot of insightful stuff, you know, trying to reach out or seek help or whatever it was she was trying to do. And so I think that her lawyers, and rightfully so, they're being strategic, because I think if it comes out any reason as to why she did it, I think it's a silly reason, and I think it will make her situation even worse. And I think the lawyer doesn't want that to come out, because if it comes out before she goes to court, it's going to be a mess. Denzel, what are your thoughts?
It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess, and the thing, like, what were they laughing about? What were they smiling about? It's not. This is not funny. And what was she smiling about? You know, like, she think this is funny. Well, she gonna go. She needs to go to jail. If she don't go, if she doesn't get time in jail, she needs to do community service, pay people back their money, apologize to people, because now wherever she goes, people gonna look at her. That people gonna look at her like, we can't. We got to be careful with her because she might do something sneaky. And then she she played in our faces. She played in our faces, and it makes me mad, and I think her mother was in on it. Maybe her dad, I don't know, but something is not right with that family, because first of all, why are they gonna give her a birthday party? A birthday party. Like I said, she needs to go to jail. If not jail, she needs to do community service. She needs to apologize to people, because this right here, that right there, that was unacceptable, and she is done. She's over, and a lot of people ain't gonna trust her. Watch, a lot of people is not gonna trust her, because what she did was it was really unacceptable, and she made a mockery of this, because it is real people that is missing, and for her to do this was so disrespectful. This was disrespectful. It was rude, and this is not funny. And she's gonna get her karma. God don't like ugly. She's done.
She already is living in the reaping the benefit of what she sowed, unfortunately. Lorraine
Exactly.
said she can easily change her first name or use her middle name. I think she should. But you know what? It's so crazy how there's always somebody out there that will recognize you. There will always be somebody out there that will recognize you. Emmanuel, your thoughts?
Well, I'm still sticking to my opinion that I think if this was a white young woman from Orange County or Napa, she wouldn't have been prosecuted. It would have been swept under the rug. I think this is overkill at this point, and I think it's a waste of resources and time, because there are real criminals right now who should be taken care of by the Hoover Department. I have said that I think she should do some community service, but to be honest, at this point, the public humiliation has been so massive that I hope she gets the smallest punishment possible.
I agree.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. And did I get to E? I got to you, right? Did I get to everybody?
I think so.
All right. So here's the thing, right? What is her name? That
But we
Sherry.
gonna say it's okay for Carlee to take up resources and time that they should be using to book real people, but she took it up and there was nothing going on.
Yeah, that's
It's the
fine.
contradictions
That's
for
fine.
me.
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
Exactly.
It is
Y'all
fine.
don't get mad at Martell and Melody for taking up the course time with that foolishness.
This is
We
no,
don't like
this is not. We're
Sherry
not talking about
Papini.
Martell and
It's
Melody.
Sherry
We
it's the
Papini.
we
same.
talking about this young
No,
lady.
it's the same. A waste of public resources is a waste of public resources.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
They have a right to
hold on,
file
guys.
motions. They have a right to file motions.
Yeah, they do.
She doesn't have a right to call 911 and make false police voices. No.
Well, she just
Exactly.
So hold
she gonna pay
on,
you.
guys.
She gonna pay you the $6,000.
It's
What more do you want?
Hold on, guys. This young lady right here, she got 18 months in prison for her kidnapping host. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
She lied, and she's going to jail. And I want to say
cheated on her husband in the process. Just want to add.
She got a fine too. It's going down. So this is not us being overkill. This is not us saying, oh, we just, this is not us just saying, oh, we just want her to go down for no reason. There are some things that you do that you have got to pay. All right, maybe if you steal a bag of chips from the local corner store, yeah, let's do community service. Nobody said you got to go to jail for years. Do some community service. Now,
But people have said on this panel they want her to get the maximum sentence. People have said that today.
Maximum sentence is 2 years.
Yeah, Diva,
She don't need that.
could I
90
please
days.
add something?
Yes, you can.
Just to keep it straight. The woman you just presented, she faked her kidnapping for 3 weeks, and she was also charged with mail fraud. This young woman did it for 48 hours, 2 days.
Come on.
She still did it though, so we're
It
excusing
doesn't matter.
But she still
And she
did it.
also stole
doesn't
from her
matter,
job.
though.
Listen,
She still
so
did
y'all
it.
say, I know, y'all saying, I don't have time to read the whole thing on her case. I know about her case. So you said, Diva, please read the full details of Sherry Papini's case. Not the same as Carlee's. The search for her lasted weeks. She repeatedly lied to FBI agents and did not confess. Also, she was charged with mail fraud, like Emmanuel was saying, right? Here's the thing, though, right? Nothing is going to be the exact same. What I'm basing it on is they both lied.
Yeah.
They both lied. When she came back home, right? That was the perfect opportunity for her to say, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, I lied. But no, she went to the police station and she told another whole elaborate story. She lied. Okay, so since hers didn't last the same amount of time, can everybody go on mute? Because I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Because hers didn't last the same amount of time, she should get nothing. So, okay, I see this girl, y'all want to say 3 weeks, she got 18 months. All right, let's give Carlee maybe 90 days. But I think she needs to do something. She also stole from her job. She stole from her job.
Well, I'll send them 2 staplers if they want to release her from that debt.
Come on.
If you know better, you more better. Thank you for the super chat. Well, Kim and Coy should be charged for calling the police just to end up back together. Okay, y'all throwing stuff in there that we gonna have to agree to disagree. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, this something should be done. And I think unless she goes behind bars for some days, I don't think she's gonna get it. But that's just my thoughts.
And I was just going to say this real quick. I know I got a lot of background noise, so I'll be quiet. I'm not proud of this at all. I'm not glad to be saying that I want her to have jail time. I'm not happy about this at all. So let me clear that up very clearly. To me, it's not about race. It's about right and wrong. She was completely wrong for what she did, and there has to be consequences. The consequences are that the law states that she can get up to a year for the 2 charges that she was pinned against her. So it's not a happy thing. We're not happy about this. We just want justice to be served. You committed a crime, you got to do the time, period.
Right.
Diva, can I say something to Juice?
Yes.
Juice says to the people who don't want her to be punished, we're the reason why we're the reason why so much wrong with this country. I'm assuming she was talking about the weak laws. So please forgive me if I misquoted you, Juice. But I do take exception with that, because you can't say that me not wanting Carlee to be punished is the reason why we have a crappy Senate, a piss poor Congress, and all the white men with the slave who were descendants of slave masters have been the president in this country. So no, we're not going to blame people who don't want Carlee to be punished for everything that's going wrong in this country. That's a stretch. I love you though.
You can't say that because Barack Obama is a descendant of a slave owner.
Correct. And he did, excuse me, I just said all of the people who have been president were descendants of slave masters. Barack Obama is
We're all
only
descendants of slave masters.
So
We're
let
all
me really
related in some type of
hold
way.
on. I don't want the train to go off the track. Hold on 1 second. Because every time we get a situation, we bring in all of these other situations. And I feel like we say, because this one didn't pay, then she shouldn't pay, right?
Because the people can't handle the facts.
Right. So Marie said, period. The law's the law. I'm with you, girlfriend. The law is the law. And so somebody pointed out to me that Sherry was felony charges and Carlee is misdemeanors. But unfortunately, the misdemeanors that she was charged with, the law says that each one she could get up to a year. I'm just saying, okay? It's not what I want. She went out and did this. When you do a crime, you better be ready to do the time. And you don't get to pick your punishment. That's the messed up thing about crime. And that's why you shouldn't do it. I told my kid all the time, okay, and here I get to choose how I'm going to punish you. When you go out in the street, they choose. And ain't nothing I'm going to really be able to do about it. I could get you a lawyer, but at the end of the day, if they say you got to do 16, 18, 12 months or whatever, you're going to have to do it. That's why you shouldn't be out there doing no crimes. People laugh at me. My friends laugh at me. Oh, no, I do the speed limit. I don't even want the popo to pull me over for no ticket. Okay? So when you take your chances, be prepared to suffer the consequences. You want to drive drunk and get caught? You can get your license taken and pay a whole lot of money in lawyer fees. And we can feel bad for you all we want. You still did it. You got to do the time. Okay? She said we cannot read charges that are not in the law. That's a point blank in the period, Marie. We can't. The police department read off the charges that she can be charged with. Okay? And they said, boom, this is it. Come on now, Regina. It's not about color. I hit the wrong comment there. It's not about color. It's the law. So, and I know people say, well, it's just this. This is her first time. Well, you know what? It's her first big mistake. And sometimes one mistake can change your life forever. And this mistake that she made is changing her life forever. Let me say this. Even if this chick never went to jail, she still destroyed her life. But just because if she doesn't go to jail and she already destroyed her life doesn't mean she gets to not now suffer the consequences. If that was the case, there'd be a whole lot of people that wouldn't need to go to jail. There's a lot of people after they get busted, they're remorseful. Okay? And if I was her lawyer, I know he know more than me. He went to law school. At some point in the game, I would have had a more heartfelt apology to the people and to everybody who was looking for me. And I would have had something in there about I learned my lesson. I would have had all of that up in my apology. Like whoever else said, somebody said, well, the pink was for the AK, the black. Well, this ain't about no sorority right now. I would have run in all black because I'm in mourning. I am messed up. I would have had all black on. And I would have said to my clients before you walk out the door, because you know they watching us, be stone-faced. Put your head down. Because you got to show some type of remorse. You want us to care more than y'all do? That mugshot to me was very smug and disgraceful. And yes, I do agree that sometimes people have a nervous laugh. So you know what you do as a lawyer? And you know she got to get a mugshot and you know you want her mugshot to come out a certain way? You bring in the office because they had plenty of times before they turned themselves in. You stay in her house with her parents all day. You have her stand up against a blank wall and you snap pictures of her. Nope, don't smile like that. Nope, don't do this. You see how you look here? I do not need you to look like that when I take you to this police station and they're taking your mugshot. Now, I got friends that are lawyers. They prep you.
Ask you this.
And they prep you on what to say and everything too. Yes. Something?
Do you think that she would have come clean had they not did the first press conference, police, the first conference? Do you think she would have just came out and come clean? Or do you think she would have continued to run with this lie that she told?
I feel like she would have continued with the lie. I feel like she would have continued with the lie. Because I think in her head, she felt like that whole plan made sense. And when
that's the reason why the jail time needs to be given and the law needs to be relooked at. Because if we're going to speak on honesty and trustworthiness, there was nothing honesty or trustworthy about what she did. And had that first police conference, that was a warning to her and her family. We already know what's going on. We just waiting on you to fess up and tell us what's going on. Had they not come out with that, she would still be lying to everyone. And her family will be standing behind her with the lie.
Yep.
Can I say something, Diva, real quick?
Can give me a minute. Lizzie, you telling facts right there. Lawyers do tell you what you should wear, point blank in a period. I know enough people that have been in trouble. Yes, they do. They tell you what to say. They drill you with questions. When
look at Jen Shaw when she went to court. Jen Shaw went up nice in that court.
Mm-hmm. But okay, wait, go ahead, Denzel. You want to say something? Then I'm gonna move on to the next one.
So she broke the law. She broke the law. She got to do some time in jail. Point blank. Period.
Yep. So okay, let's move on. We're gonna stay close to this case. They're gonna have to go to court. And I wish her the best. I'm thinking in my head that, they may need to try to do a plea deal. Because I'm telling you, when I was watching that press conference and the messages that was in that press conference was brutal. Y'all think we being mean? No, it was brutal. The people were pissed.
They're worse than us. Some people are saying they want her to do 10 years.
Yep, they said she played with our emotions. She did a whole lot of stuff. So we're going to move on, guys, and we'll stay connected to this story. So the next story is actually very, very sad. Wait, let me just see this. Why doesn't Carlee owe an apology to the Hoover PD and all the people that were searching for her? I'm trying to tell you that would have been part of my apology. But I would be so humble at this point. I'm talking humble because I messed up. But okay, let's move on to the next story. So these parents, and that's why this is called What About the Parents? Okay. And yes, they threw her birthday party. Like it's a whole lot of mess going on there. Let me just because I'm trying to find this story. So I want to close out some things here so I can get right to it. New York Post. Okay, this one right here. This is sad. So we got a 5-year-old. Let me make sure this doesn't play. I hope that doesn't play. A 5-year-old who fatally unalived a baby brother was on cocaine while dead toddler had marijuana in the system. Okay. Why is this playing? Let me make sure this doesn't play. All right. So a 5-year-old Indiana boy who pow-powed his baby brother and unalived him was high on cocaine at the time, while the unalived toddler had marijuana in his system, according to the prosecutors. The shocking revelation came as neglect and drug charges were unsealed Tuesday against the boy's parents. Okay, 27 is the dad and 24 is the mom. The couple was arrested on the new charges Monday. Okay, according to the newspaper out there. So young Isaiah Johnson died from a pow-pow wound to the head after his unnamed brother found a pow-pow in their drug den of a home, police said. How sad is this? Okay. Johnson claims to have been napping on the couch at the time. Okay. And they're talking about the dad claiming he was asleep on the couch at the time, saying he heard a boom before he found the 16-month-old boy, not alive anymore, according to the probable cause affidavit. The toddler was later found to have had marijuana in his system, while his brother tested positive for, the booger sugar. Prosecutor says while announcing the charges. How sad is that? How is this surviving brother even going to stand a chance in this world when he's got to grow up knowing that he's the reason why his little brother is no longer alive? These parents get a freaking F, okay? Police also found 93 fentanyl pills, as well as marijuana and drug paraphernalia in the couple's Lafayette apartment following the deadly pow-powing. Mom Welch told police that the GUN was hers, claiming that it was usually kept in a locked box under her bed. Johnson was also charged with obstruction of justice for allegedly trying to clear the apartment of the weed before police arrived. 4 weeks before the deadly, pow-pow, Welch was brought up on charges of possessing and dealing narcotics and marijuana, which is illegal for both medical and recreational purposes in Indiana, according to the court documents. This is one of the saddest cases I have seen in a while. These parents are dreadful. This is sad. And my heart breaks, of course, for the poor baby that is no longer here. But my heart also breaks for the surviving brother. I don't know where he goes from here, because now, we probably got to wing a 5-year-old off for drugs. Have you ever? A 5-year-old, right? And then the little baby had it in his system. And the little baby is gone because of these reckless parents. It's a shame. It's very sad, right? So you said, so you have drugs and weapons in the home with access to that part right there. And the dad was home, so he probably was on the couch drugged out when this happened, not even watching the kids. This is very sad. The parents are done. They are done. But unfortunately, we got to pray for this little boy. What chance does he stand? Because when he's all kind of probably sober and cleaned up, to deal with the fact that my brother is gone because of me. It's very sad. Roya, what are your thoughts?
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. This is horrible. The parents need to be charged with neglect as well, because this is negligence as a parent to have substances out in the open for children to have accessibility to. It's just complete negligence. I don't know how old these individuals are, but this is why we need to really start kind of securing our laws in more informative ways. I know a lot of people who use substances around their children, and so they have easy access to it. And so we need to change that. Those individuals who are, doing those substances, when it's found out, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but the children need to be taken out of that environment, because it is putting our children in detriment at an early age. And that is something that child could have missed, or that this is something that the child could have not gone through had proper attention been paid to the parents, by family members, by friends, neighbors. I just feel like it's about our community being a village and making sure that everybody is okay. But this is a horrible situation. I think the parents need to be prosecuted to the highest prosecution of whatever could happen. And for this baby to have marijuana in his system, I just, wow. It's no words to describe.
Very sad. Now, Nikki, this I will agree with you on, that yes, criminals are encouraged and allowed to continue their degree. So I'm not saying that. I do not want Carlee's life, and I'm sorry that I'm stepping back for a minute. I do not want her life to be ruined for the rest of her life. The girl is 25 years old, but unfortunately with everybody, you gotta want it. The world can't want for you what you don't even want for yourself. So I gotta step back up and move forward. Sebastian, what are your thoughts on this current story?
Okay, the 5-year-old. The thing is, I blame it all 100% on the parents or the people who are responsible for this child, for these two children, because they're the ones who are supposed to make sure that their child is not exposed to certain substances, put in certain environments to do these certain things. Primarily, I find, I'm sorry, this may sound wrong, I find it shocking that the child was exposed to cocoa and he's still alive. That shocks me because usually that would knock a child out. That would completely unalive them.
Well, no,
Some
you know
people
what,
can be born
Sebastian?
into addiction, though. Some
That's
people
what
can
I
be
was
born
going to
into
say.
it.
That's what I was going to say. We don't know
Maybe they're
if the
giving
child
it to the child constantly, and the child has already built a resistance and it is
all
able
of
to hold.
that.
That's scary to me. It's very scary to me how this happened, and I feel bad, obviously, for the baby. You know, they're on the live now, and this child is going to suffer with PTSD for the rest of their life. Because 5 years old, you kind of do remember things that happen at 5. I still remember things that happen at 5 for me. That's I feel like that's the age where you start to remember things.
Well, here's the problem too, right? Probably because it's so traumatic, his brain may want to block it out. But unfortunately, as he goes through therapy, they're going to have to try to bring it out of him in order to heal him from it, because all you need is some kid on the street or somebody to say, oh, you're the one that
unalive
about. Yeah.
You never know the parents, if they get asked. This is another thing.
I don't think those parents are getting out of jail. I'm going to be very honest with you.
I will say this, and I know people are going to scream at me.
Go ahead.
Not everyone deserves to be parents. Not everyone deserves to be parents. Every child deserves to have a parent, but not every person deserves to be a parent. It's just, that's how I feel. If you're gonna do this, come on, substances near your child and now your child's exposed to them. Come on. And did they find the Mary Jane in the baby, in this baby system as well?
Yeah, they did. They
oh
did.
my god, that's crazy.
Yeah. Live Life said no, they take children out of the house and place them in homes where they get, not treated right. I'll say that. I grew up with numerous foster youth. Sometimes it's worse taking them out of the house. It's never going to be a perfect answer. But surely this particular home, no child should have ever been in it.
Period.
No child should have ever been in it. And so although Live Life, I do agree with you on this statement, but this is a home where no child should have been in it. Sheila, your thoughts? Sheila, are you there? Did I lose everybody?
I hear you.
Okay. I'll go to Felicia.
I hear you just fine.
Okay.
Felicia. I hear you too.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Sheila. Go ahead, Sheila.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
It's sad when we have these situations and people not understanding why people feel so strongly about what's going on. I think that I don't want to see harm done to anybody at all, but you just can't get away with doing these things. And we have kids, young kids, and it makes you wonder who was watching them.
They don't mention the mom, Mo, in terms of if she was in the house. I know the dad for sure was in the house, because when the cops were coming, he said he was on the couch and then he heard a boom. And so when the cops, and then he said when he walked in the room, the little toddler was already gone. And then the cop said that he was the one hiding stuff. But this is just a mess. It's very sad.
And Diva, you have to understand too, thankfully, the young child did not OD from something like that. But the fact that you have children, and I get that people do all kinds of crazy things nowadays around their children or whatever they're doing, but you're not making sure you protect them. You how do you not love your children enough to protect them?
Well, I'm taking it as the parents were addicts. And no matter when you're an addict, you're an addict. And 99% of the time, addicts, their addiction of choice comes above everything. Now, this mother, because I read several articles on this, of course she missed her child, right? But she's the reason and the dad as to why that child is not here, and the other one is freaking suffering. Now,
Right.
how did a child have that much cocoa in his body that when they test, he tested positive for it? So I'm wondering too, because there are a lot of people that they will give their children Benadryl to
Yes.
make them go to sleep so they can go hang out in the streets and not have a babysitter. There's a lot of kids that are still alive by the grace of God because of some of the things that their parents have done. So I'm wondering if these parents was giving them substances to keep them asleep while they did whatever it was they was doing. And God only knows who was in and out of that apartment because they were selling. And they were selling and they had 2 GUNs. We had a 20-year-old who passed away from fentanyl overdose at his mother's home on New Year's Eve down here. The mother is now facing murder charge, and she should. And these 2 parents should face murder charges for the little young one that is no longer here. They're a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. Okay, who am I up to? Felicia, I thank you.
Thank you, Diva.
Yes.
You know, children ought to be loved and protected. And when they are not, these things that happen affect all of us. I know it's difficult for neighbors to intervene, family members to step in and say, hey, things are going on here. These children need to be in a better environment. And then there's a pushback. And then we have a loss of life like this. And I'm wondering, well, these parents, you said the mother 4 weeks before there was going to be a bust in the house and she got charged because she was trying to clean stuff up. So it's much like you say, she's an addict. And perhaps she was in jail when she was trying to clean up the 4 weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe even though she was an addict, she was trying to hold it down and keep the kids safe.
Mm. So
she's not there. Dad dozes off, or he's in a drug, state of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep thinking, how does the 5-year-old know to pull this gun? I'm trying to think, what size of 5-year-old is this child? Was the baby crying? And
no, remember they said the boy had cocoa in him, and he's only 5. And so his body is little, and stuff processing kids quicker than adults, right? Kids will get dehydrated way quicker than an adult will. So I'm sure this substance processed in him way quicker than it would in an adult. And who knows how much was in him, and who knows if that thing was driving him crazy. And he has seen a lot in that apartment.
Okay.
They seen a lot. They selling.
And I imagine that the pow was already loaded because they already live in an environment when they selling, so they got to be careful and ready at all times. So it was probably already loaded. It was probably just sitting out somewhere. And kids, that's why we have to be careful also. And not trying to come off preachy, but it's just so sad. We got to be careful what we allow our children to see. Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see. Oh, be careful, little ears, what you hear. Because the younger they see it, the more they understand it. The brain is fresh and brand new. So they're absorbing whatever is being put in front of their face on a regular basis. The parents are 100% responsible, and it's a shame.
It is.
Also, I want to bring this up real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sebastian. Go ahead.
I want to bring this up real quick. You know how Obi brought up the fact that kids' systems are like more, it's different for kids, and like this is how everything just happened. Like it disgusts me how this is why not everyone should be parents. And I'm sorry, I don't know. This is gonna be, some people are gonna be mad. I'm not a parent yet. In the future, I will be. But this is completely wrong. The mother, and you know what I'm gonna say, and I know some people are gonna be mad. I think the parents should be put down, in my opinion. I said
I
it.
agree.
Mm.
Ooh,
Okay, so
what I was trying to process was, why would the 5-year-old aim for the head?
I don't think the 5-year-old was aiming. I think the 5-year-old might have been playing. I think the 5-year-old might have just picked it up and was playing with it. And like Ray has said, they're unloaded and ready because what those parents was doing in that home, and it just went off. Because the mother also claimed that it was locked up, but they said it was 2 GUNs in that house, and he. So they was doing the most in that house. That house was, they said it in the article, a drug infested home. So
Not somewhere children should be.
They were selling and they were dealing. It's a mess and it's sad. And the 5-year-old, I'm thinking, but we don't know. Like, you need more details as always. But the 5-year-old was, at least should have been in kindergarten. There's so many things. But also, let me tell you this. Even when you see stuff in the hospital, when a kid comes in, or you see stuff in the school, you report it, but it's not like instantly, and rightfully so, right? Because if somebody reports something and they come snatch my kid up out my house and then even investigate, that's a whole nother issue. Because, unfortunately, people lie, right? So they got to do their due diligence and investigate a certain way. And it's not like they could just snatch your kid up out of your house immediately. It's a lot. And
there's a lot there, Diva, but you did say the mother, there was some kind of bus that went down 4 weeks before. So someone saw these children in this environment.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm thinking about authorities saw children in this environment. So how did they remain in this home with 93 fentanyl pills? It's my understanding is like a little milligram or whatever can have a terrible effect on a whole human being.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many things that's happening within the family.
Mm-hmm.
And being broken down and forgotten in the community, that children are at such a dangerous peril point in their lives. One can't speak at all, and the other one can't tell you what they're doing to them.
Yeah.
So there's nothing but prayer that I have for these children who have to suffer like this in these environments.
No, I agree with you. Esther, you said, what is the government doing against this fentanyl and opiate crisis, which is way worse than the crack epidemic? Well, you know what? Every time I hear about these cases, I think back to, because it was bad. I'm sure it was bad everywhere, but it was really bad in New York on 125th Street. They was calling it the zombie zone. It was bad in New York on 125th Street. It was bad in Newark, New Jersey. There was a lot of places where it was bad. And I'm talking about that drug, what was it, K2 or something like that. So when K2, we had that epidemic, I blinked my eyes and it was over. And the reason why I blinked my eyes and it was over, because that touched other neighborhoods. And I'm going to just say it like that. Until this thing truly hits home for some people,
it has.
But it hasn't enough though, Sebastian, because if you go back, do research on it, because I never forget it, because we was in the hospital and we was always on alert, right? Because literally they were finding people on the freaking street passed out, and it was K2, to the point where EMTs couldn't catch up. The hospitals didn't have enough room, okay? Because literally these people were like zombies. So there are currently people in that state or for all of this. Well, not really in that state, because with this fentanyl, they're gone. They're gone, right? So, it happens, but anything that they could keep in the dark and we don't hear about it, they will keep in the dark. And see, so fentanyl, it takes you like that. But that K2, it had you in a zombie state, and so many people were reporting it and just seeing people walk around just crazed out. And when it trickled into places that some people didn't want it to trickle into, all of a sudden they cleaned that thing up in 1.2 seconds. And those individuals wasn't labeled as drug addicts. They was labeled as people that just needed help. Go back and read on that, and I promise you, you will see that. So until this thing really hits home for certain individuals that are involved, it's going to continue. It's going to continue. And that's why you have to be really careful. And that is why right now, what they're doing is, remember now you can buy what do you call that? What's the Narcan? You can buy it over the counter, right? So their answer is right now not to stop it. It's big pharma, right? We're gonna make some more money. Y'all go ahead and do it, but then y'all go ahead and get some Narcan. So in case you do it, you can pluck yourself and maybe you'll get revived really quickly. Do you see the vicious cycle there and the money that is being made? So
yes, it's horrible.
I don't want to take the train too far off the track, but right now, this money is being made off of this situation, one, and two, it hasn't hit the wrong zip code yet. When it hits the wrong zip code, we'll no longer hear about fentanyl and the opioid crisis. It'll be something else. But until it hits the wrong zip code, woe is us. Get you some Narcan if you are a drug addict, and maybe tell your friend you got the Narcan in the bag in case you overdose, they can hit you. But let me tell you, in New Jersey, this is another story you can look up. Very ritzy mall. And can I tell you, they looked into this in like 2.2 seconds. They was like, oh, we got to find these dealers. Y'all got to find these dealers, where the dealers are everywhere on the streets. Y'all can find them all, but now you really got to find them. It was a very ritzy mall in New Jersey. 5 ladies ranging from age 20 to almost in their 40s went out on their like lunch break or whatever, and I want to say some of them survived, some of them didn't, but the ones that survived is because people that was passing by, like this guy, he helped them. All of them OD'd. It was fentanyl. Yeah, it was crazy. I'll try to pull up that story, but I want to continue. Who did Felicia, I came to you. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
My thought to this, Steve. I'm sorry, I got muted. So can you kind of remind me what you talked about? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna go to somebody else so you could catch up to what we're talking about. Then I'll come back to you. Okay.
I'm sorry, David.
But you're okay. The addiction rules the household is so unfortunate, but it happens. Yes, it does. Julius, your thoughts?
Some people are not meant to be parents.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart breaks for the 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have some children who could be little rascals. But imagine the guilt that is in this 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Not a care in the world from neither parent, but yet they want to blame this 5-year-old. He is a baby still. My blame is with the adults. They are the ones that need to be brought up on neglect and murder charges. Yep, I said it. Because they chose to deliberately and purposely fill by the article countless times to fail these babies. Now one of the babies is gone. And one of the babies is going to be wondering the rest of his life, I hope he can forgive me. But I'm pretty sure that baby will, because it's the parents' fault.
It's not really about the baby. It's going to be about him forgiving himself.
That part.
It's going to be about him forgiving himself. And my heart literally breaks for this 5-year-old. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure even once it happened, he didn't even know how to process what the heck just happened.
He probably thought they was playing a game. You know how babies, they can play games, you know?
The only reason why I'm not saying he was playing a game is because this kid was high on cocoa.
And see, that's the thing. How did this kid get the cocoa?
Well, we already know their parents were drug addicts.
Exactly.
I just wanted to bring this up for y'all because it happened in Hackensack, New Jersey. 1 dead after 5 victims overdose at Hackensack Mall. These young ladies, they actually went outside, and I don't want to get in deep in this story, but y'all could pull it up. They went outside on their lunch break. Whatever dealer came, gave it to them, and literally before I blinked my eyes, they already found out who sold it to them. But Hackensack is a very nice area in New Jersey. And there was, the 5 women aged from 29 to 41. Okay. And they all worked in the building and they all ingested fentanyl. Now they said unknowingly, like stop. But do you see how? So they said these women unknowingly ingested it. But I'm gonna carry on.
Let's carry on. This is
because you see how they changed the narrative because it's a certain area.
Yeah,
they made excuses.
Unknowingly.
Okay. I got caught up now. Can I say something now, please?
Yes, you can.
I think the parents should be the ones getting the charges. I feel bad for the for the kid because he didn't mean to do it. So if the parents didn't put the stuff in there, he wouldn't have done it. So I think the parents should be the ones to get the charges. Diva.
I think the parents are definitely getting the charges, but it's still the poor little boy is going to have to be going through so much therapy. Mo said, wouldn't it make him sleepy? Everything does something different to everybody's body. Some people get hyperactive. Some people, they go low. Some people, they go high when they take substances, and you never know which one you're going to be until it actually happens. So yeah, you can react differently to it. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts on this case?
This is so tragic. It's like hard to wrap your head around it. Like it makes your stomach hurt when you read it. I just feel there's no excuses. I mean, those parents are horrible. I feel bad for those children. It's almost as if they were set up to fail where they were coming from. I can't even imagine what that little boy is like. I can't even think about it. But I do think this is both a drug issue, but also a pow issue, because even if there had been drugs there, if there wouldn't have been a pow, this wouldn't have happened. So I also feel like that's a big part of it. But I don't know. It's sad. It's really sad.
Very sad. He must have saw one of his parents do it. I believe that too, wholeheartedly. He's seen this done.
And let me just say this.
Yes.
This is one of the reasons why I have an issue with weed being legalized, because I feel like it's a gateway drug.
Amen. Speak on it.
I'm tired of people saying that it's for medical purposes. No, it's a drug at the end of the day. I just want to say that too.
Well, you know what, Emmanuel? It's a rare moment for you and I, because I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree too.
I don't like it at all. And now when I go to the city, walking around, I'm telling you, I get secondhand contact because everybody's just puffing away. It's a lot.
That's how it is in the city now. Like walking around the city, like I get dizzy sometimes because I'm just I'm like, what the hell?
I don't care where you going. Try to walk in the big Macy's down there. Try to walk here. Try to walk there, and everybody's trying to sell it to you too. It's a mess. Denzel, what are your thoughts on this situation?
This is really sad. It's a sad situation.
Oh, sorry.
I'm coming to you. E, where are you at? I'm coming to you. Right after Denzel, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. So the little baby, he was 15 months old, correct?
16 months.
16 months old. Wow. And he had marijuana in his system.
Yes, he did.
What? wow, that and then the 5-year-old have had that cocoa in his system. That's sad too. And not only that, having a pow pow in his hand. These parents, they need to be held accountable and they need to go to jail for that. Because I have heard similar stories like this. I have heard similar stories like this, and it's just like, what is wrong with people? Some people, I'm not trying to be funny, some people do not deserve to be parents. Some people don't, and it's ridiculous. It's sad. This 5-year-old. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the 5-year-old, and I feel sorry for the 16-month-old that is no longer here. And the 5-year-old, he's gonna get a lot of counseling because he's gonna be traumatized with this, and it's it's sad. And and so we gotta stay prayed up. We gotta stay prayed up because again, I have heard similar stories like this, and it's sad. It's really sad. And
we gotta take some action too, right? Because I think that now I'm probably sure that their GUNs were probably illegal. And
probably
it's like I just really feel like, it just got to be some harsher laws on certain things, and
right.
we got to clean up these streets. And I don't agree that everybody should have a pow pow. And I
Right.
think it should be, if you have kids in the home and you do have one legally, it should be some stronger restrictions on that. But those are
Yeah.
my thoughts, right?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
No, you no finish.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
No, but yeah, I agree with you on that because people that do have children and people that do have children and people that have pow pals or what drugs, they need to lock it up. They need to lock it up so their kids won't get into stuff like that. Because again, we keep hearing about stories like this, and it's sad, it's ridiculous, and some people don't need to be parents because it's sad, and those parents, they need to get locked up.
I think those parents are they're gonna throw the book at them. Let the redeemed say so. Said, do y'all agree the mother wasn't there and doesn't deserve to be charged? She need to be charged because when they have those traces in you, I don't think the traces was
That's
just from one
neglect.
day.
What she did.
Yeah, there you go. And I
That's
don't think the
neglect.
traces was just from one day. I
'Cause
really
listen,
think it was a build up. But hold on, Julius, because I really want to let E get in the building. So, E, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I have a lot to say. Like someone said earlier, a lot of people shouldn't be parents. And it is my belief that before you bring that baby home from the hospital or you sign the birth certificate, it should be mandatory that you have to take so many hours of parenting classes. The same way they won't let you bring that baby home without an infant car seat, you should not be able to walk out with a little human being. A lot of kids are born addicted to drugs. So the hospital that knows that they're releasing these kids to suffer in an unhealthy environment, their hands are pretty much tied sometimes.
Wait, let me jump in because I did peds, E. If you're born and you born positive, no, that baby ain't going home with that mother. No, ma'am.
I know somebody, and it may be different up there, but I know somebody in Georgia that is close to my family. And it was something in that baby's system. And that hospital let that baby go home with that mother, and the father was allowed to visit. But the baby has something in their system. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I know this for a fact. Maybe people aren't reporting it like they're supposed to. I don't know. But it's happening. And Listen, there are people who don't want any kids, don't have any kids, and when they see things, people out in the street in the community, they say it's not my problem. There's a lack of humanity in this country, and a lot of people like to complain about kids, but will walk past a child being unreasonably yelled at or disciplined in public and act like they ain't seen nothing wrong. I have personally called Child Protective Services on a person before, twice. When I witnessed someone being mistreated, I witnessed someone mistreating their daughter, and the same person mistreated their son. It was on two different separate occasions, and it was so egregious that I felt like I couldn't sleep unless I called that damn number. Now, whatever happens after that, I don't know. That I did get a follow-up call, but I don't know what happened after that. But the whole point is, when you see something, you have to say something, because I cannot believe that nobody in this community knew that this was the house where you could get the fentanyl and the weed. Everybody knew, because we all know where the hot spots are, right? So this has been allowed. This is a buildup, okay? And this is just my opinion. And I know I'm probably going to get some slack, because I know yesterday people got into it about the parenting. Smoking, drinking, cursing, fighting, violence, promiscuity, displaying dishonesty, exhibiting anything like those behaviors around your kids is simply improper. And we have to get back to that and stop saying, well, no, I'm just being real and I'm being a real parent. No, it's improper. And we wonder why the youth is so nonchalant now and unresponsive all the damn time. And another thing, because Emmanuel, I agree with you. It's a bunch of kids who have marijuana in their system. And after all, so many people argued about the legalization of weed. What else did they expect? People were not smoking marijuana responsibly when it was illegal. So legalizing it or decriminalizing it across the country can only spell disaster. Secondhand smoke, like you said, Diva, that's a real thing. And a lot of people who smoke weed are more offensive than folks who smoke cigarettes. To me, most people I know who smoke cigarettes, they at least try to hide the smell because they know it stinks. They know we don't want to smell that. But the people who I know who smoke weed, they just wake up, they get out of bed, they smoke, and they go around whoever. Old people at the bus stop, they come in the hospital smelling like that. They go into Walmart. They don't care where they are. They don't care who smell it. Because for real, they don't think they're doing nothing wrong. And I always hear people like that say, well, I never heard of nothing bad happening to anybody who smoked weed. And my response to that is, who have you been speaking to? Because there's a lot of bad things that can result from smoking weed, a lot. And somebody also said, this is my last thing. Someone said, well, the kids should be removed from the home. I agree with that. But the state cannot take all these kids out of the environment, because if they took all these kids in improper environments out of them, a lot of kids won't have nowhere else to go. That's the sad reality. It's a lot of cases where kids have been taken away from the parents, and the state has told these parents that they can get these kids back after so many months of testing clean. They're going to keep testing them regularly, and they have to display, they have to go to parenting classes, this, that, and the third. The state has given these parents a choice because they don't have any place for these kids to go. There are not a lot of people signing up to take foster children. And the sad reality is, if the state even gave some of these people an option to get their kids back, Diva, a lot of them won't even be able to stop smoking for that period of time to get their damn kids back. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do.
So it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. And folks who have to smoke every day, multiple times a day, and I've said it on this panel before, they're addicts. They're aligned to functional junkies, because there's no reason you should have to smoke for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. That's ridiculous. People complain about wasting taxpayers' dollars. Well, let's talk about it. Mental health and behavioral health is the largest unmet need of the youth in this country. And there are currently, I looked it up, 400,000 kids in foster care in the country right now, okay? And 700,000 homeless kids, meaning they're unaccompanied by any parent or guardian. So this is where we should be focusing our effort. And we were talking about the lady taking her wig off and hiding in the Holiday Inn. There are so many kids around here with no place to go. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You said a mouthful, E, and I agree with most of it. Veronica 501, I'm glad your relative survived. I'm glad your relative survived. I mean, it's a lot. It's so much. So I do know in Jersey, I can't speak for anybody else because I only did my nursing in Jersey, but I do know in Jersey, if your baby is born addicted, You're not going home with your baby. Not going home with your baby.
I think you can in New York. Like, I think you can. They'll like bring you to like rehabilitation, like outpatient rehabilitation, and like they'll counsel with you and stuff. But even then, I still don't think you should be able to go to home with your baby because, you know, addicts relapse.
Well, here's the thing, right? The whole situation is sad. They have the methadone program. I don't want to sit here and go through all of that. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. They have the methadone program, which, you know, they give them methadone to try to wean them off of the harsher street drugs. They give them a controlled substance. And some of them end up, you know, taking the controlled substance and being on a methadone program and still, you know, going out there and getting their street drugs. I mean, this is a situation.
Even the safe injection places too, Diva.
Yeah, they do, right? Because they're trying to, they don't know how to resolve the situation quick enough. So they figure instead of having 29,000 dead bodies like on the streets and in the train station or wherever else, they figure, you know what? And instead of having them maybe contact different, you know, diseases because they're sharing needles or whatever like that, they're putting up these places. And I think they're putting a Band-Aid on a major problem, right? They're putting a Band-Aid on a major problem because then they're putting those centers where you can go shoot up safely, so to speak, but they're putting them in the midst of the neighborhoods. And so then the people who live in those neighborhoods, they got to pass by them. There was I think I did for my members only, there was in New York, a train station where they called it the needle grave or something, the graveyard, because at that particular train station, it was close to one of those houses where the people were able to just shoot up safely. But some of them would go get the paraphernalia and then go to the train station. And now you taking your kid home on the train and they're seeing all of this. They're seeing people shoot up as the norm in their life. It's crazy. I mean, there's a lot of yes, Diva, the Harlem Reduction Center. Yes. You know, it's like, what is the answer to this thing? I think it's so many levels to it, but it goes back to when you have these children, you got to love these children. And I'm not talking about anything to do with money. You could be in the projects and love your kids. It's really not about the things with kids. We all want things, even as adults. But if you have a child and you give them the basic thing that you can give for free, love, you're combating a whole lot of stuff right there on that level. And he is right. So then what do? We take the kids and we put them in foster care. And unfortunately, a lot of these kids in foster care, sometimes they get in these homes and they're abused in those homes. Sometimes these foster care parents, all they want is the stipend that they're getting to take care of that kid. There was a horrific story years ago. I don't know if anybody remembers. It was this Black couple. They had their own set of kids, and then they adopted a whole bunch of kids. And they had the foster kids starving. And every time the people that came to check on the home as foster parents, the parents would fill up the refrigerator and act like all was well. You remember that?
Yes.
Act like all was well. But meantime, the foster kids couldn't eat jack.
Also, yes. Can I just say a couple of things, like for the
yes, go ahead.
Foster care and everything else?
Yes.
There's also discrimination in the system. Because, you know, me, I'm a gay man. And, you know, I follow gay bloggers who have, like, went through the foster system and adopted and all of that. There is ample amount of discrimination just because of their orientation alone.
Yes.
Where couples are rejected. And the house comes out clean, everything you would want for a kid. And the kids, like, they would do, like, temporary placement, and the kids would start to bond them, like, no, just because of their orientation. That needs to stop, too.
Oh, so Diva, I'm sorry. I want to piggyback on that because I know somebody that happened to. I know someone, and they identify as trans. This person had went and they had a child come in temporarily, and the state removed them. The woman told them that we'll give you a child, but you'll have to get a special needs child. And when they told me that, I said, why? And they said you have a higher probability of getting a child placed in your home if they're special needs, because those are the kids that are trying to get placed first. So I took exception with that. Yes, the special needs children need a place to go, but because this person is trans or they identify as LGBT, you won't give them a regular child, but you'll put a special needs one in there. Like, I agree with you, and I'm so happy you brought that up, because that just triggered me.
And it's just like, and the child would be crying, and some of them actually run away and end up going back into the parents, and the parents have to fight to keep them. But it's just like, even though you got those bad apples don't weigh out the overwhelming majority of good ones that want to bring the child up in the way that he or she should go, that want to see them make it in life, that that give them love, devotion, everything. And it's an epidemic of epic proportions, and it needs to be talked about.
It does.
Did you guys also hear about the case several years back where this family had over 13 or 14 foster kids in
Was
Ohio?
Law and Order, they were chained against the wall?
No, not those. They kept them in cages.
I think we're talking about the same story, Sheila. And the one kid, he was 95 pounds, but he was older in age. Like, he looked like a little kid, but he was actually an older kid. And you are correct, they were on Oprah. So Vonnie, we're connecting there. I think and it was so sad because he was mentally delayed, but he ended up only being mentally delayed because the parents starved him to death.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. I saw that. That was sad.
Very sad. I'm trying to see if I could get a picture of him, but it was just the saddest case ever. Those parents were horrific. It was just, I've never, in the world, never seen a story like that. I'm trying to get a picture of him so I could just remind everybody, but it was very sad.
Sad. He looked at like a young child, but he was actually either a teenager or a young adult.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very sad. So go ahead.
The system fails children in those cases because I get that you have a family that want to take in kids. How many kids with special needs or have what you call higher needs than most parents or a household can take? Why would you give that many children to one family? Their own children were saying they didn't deserve to be parent, and these were their biological children.
Aren't they sometimes group homes? That's why as well. Sometimes.
In that case, they were not. It was not a group home, and legally at least in our state, a group home does not take in foster children. It may be certain levels of homes, but usually you find group homes that are ran by the state that with special needs kids in them. The state does a lot of the different funding, so they are more looked at, or where someone comes in on a regular basis, so you could not get away with abusing them. I'm not saying stuff don't happen, but they do have an eye on them on a regular basis versus a home where somebody is taking them in and they're getting money, and these kids are like revolving doors.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on 1 second, guys. This story was a case in New Jersey. I'm gonna look up later, not now, what happened to them. But there was 4 brothers who were nearly starved to death. But they were in a home where the mother kept the foster care mother kind of kept them in the basement, so to speak, and they had their other children, and their other children were fine. Like, you have got to be really sick in the head.
See, this is a different story than the ones that were kept in the cages that were in Ohio. I remember these kids, they were on the Oprah show, but the kids in Ohio, their family The father and the mother, they did end up going to jail behind it, or prison. They kept they claimed that the children needed to be in cages because they were afraid of them falling out of bed or whatever, but they weren't regular beds. They were literally built. They
I saw
built
that
I do
too.
cages for
remember.
these
I
kids.
remember. I
I
remember.
remember that
But hold
too.
on. Let me just bring it back. Who did not speak on this particular case?
In my opinion.
In my opinion, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing, okay?
Mhm.
I feel like our system, our government has failed these kids because so many times it's not that these parents don't want to do right by their kids. It's either the situation they're in, their financial status, something stops them from being able to be the parents that their children need. And I think in this instance, our government has to come up with something better than telling people we can't help you or turning people away. Then it should be parenting classes to everybody. For those parents that have not had the home training to know how to parent their kids, it should be something in place that helps them learn how to budget a book so they know how to get their finances together, even some kind of program that teach them how to go on a job interview to obtain a job to be a better parent. Like I just feel like we are failing each other because when resources are out there, we sometimes feel like we can't help the next person because it's going to take away from what we're getting.
Yep.
And that's where the government has failed us. And then we look at these people and say, oh, we feel bad for the kids. Well, we need to feel bad that the government has not stepped in and made a way for it to happen. And then all that we turned over Roe versus Wade and making people have babies that they don't want.
That's right.
It's sad. They just set us back 2,000 years, and it's even worse because now we having to deal with neglect, drugs, all that kind of stuff on our babies because these people are not equipped enough to do what they need to do, and no government services to help them.
Right.
Um, thank you. Thank you for this comment. That sounds nice, but people don't want the government telling them what to do. At the same time, they want the government to be responsible. We can't have it both ways.
Well, they shouldn't have to have it both ways, but in order for you to get those same benefits that y'all love to get, food stamps, welfare, Section 8, you need to go to a class to learn how to be a better parent. You need to be able to do something. They keep saying they don't want to give something away for nothing. You don't have to give it away for nothing. But if you see somebody trying to better their life, I don't understand why we the land of the free and it's all our people are struggling. Now make that make sense.
I agree.
Yes. If you're going to get money or funding, you should be able to have to earn it.
Yeah. Whew, it's a lot. It is a lot. All right, guys. Oh my God. All right. So prayers out to the 5-year-old. He's still here. He's still here for a reason. And I'm praying to God that, this situation doesn't destroy the rest of his life. It's just very sad and it's heart-wrenching. All right. So really quickly, I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. And I'll talk about the plane story where they served the KFC, and we're going to end with that. And we have to talk about Commander next time because Biden's dog is at the White House just biting everybody up. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Sheila. Please like the video, everybody. So let me go ahead and share screen and we'll do our last story here. If I can find it, here it is. Okay, y'all know how I like to tell y'all the stories about the plane, and I don't be making this stuff up. Okay, airline passengers were served KFC after the plane's catering went bad. They said we had to wing it. Okay, passengers flying from Turks and Caicos to London were offered a single. Now you wasn't getting no 2-piece or nothing like that. They offered you a single piece of fried chicken, okay? For passengers on British Airways Flight 252, food options were slim. 1 piece of chicken per person. And this was a 12-hour flight, people. And I'm going to, summarize this article for y'all. So what happened was they had their cart with all of their food. Somehow the food got spoiled. So if they did not think quickly and try to find some place to get food to feed these people on a 12-hour flight, they would have had to delay the flight. Okay. So instead of delaying it, They went out and got a whole bunch of KFC, and that's what they fed the people. Some people were happy, some people were not. Some people wanted some more chicken. If you was a vegetarian, I guess you was straight out of luck. That's little girlfriend right there with her chicken, okay, on a napkin. It was messy, boots. Okay, had a little piece of chicken on a napkin, and like I said, if you didn't eat, chicken, you were screwed. And then the way they compensated them once they landed, somebody said it was an absolute disgrace. Okay, they said they got 1 chicken leg per passenger. That's a mess. You got 12 hours. I'm hungry. Okay, and when they landed, they gave them a voucher. They gave them a voucher to get something to drink. Okay, they didn't give them a whole voucher to get no meals or whatever. They gave them a voucher to get something to drink. Okay, one person had an accident on themselves. They said it was traumatizing. Okay, after 2 hours, they finally gave us water, but people were passing out, throwing up, babies were screaming. One person had an accident on themselves. It was traumatizing because I want to say also that something happened with the air, something happened with the bathrooms. It was a whole hot mess. Okay, all right, people. That's the KFC story. Okay, chirp chirp. I'm trying to tell you what, this is crazy. It's totally insane. Okay, and then you get one piece. Okay, we're closing out, people. I'm starting at the bottom. Emmanuel, what do you think? KFC on an airplane.
I think they should be grateful that the airline even went to go buy KFC in the first place. They were going to be fine. 12 hours. Nothing's going to happen if you don't have some food for 12 hours. And the contrary, is actually healthy to have a little fast once in a while. And yeah, they should be grateful, like I said, that they even got that 1 piece of chicken. That wouldn't have filled me up, but bring your snacks on your trip.
Whoa. Was that FDA approved? I don't know, but listen, they got some KFC. All right. Ms. Wilson said, I'm with you. I always have snacks in my bag, but oh my, that's all I can say.
Would they have rather have the airline serve the spoiled food?
Of course not. Of course not. Did they have peanuts? I cannot with y'all. Y'all being mad. What if they have an illness? Come on now. Not only that, what if you was a vegetarian? I guess you was just going straight starve. Okay. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
I think this is sad and disgusting because if they were spending money for KFC, they could have went to Walmart and bought some salads and some sandwich meat and at least made them folks sandwiches and gave them out bags of chips. I'm just saying it's ridiculous because that was part of your service and then your service was not being met. And then your bathroom facilities is going to be messed up too. And then I ain't going to get nothing to drink on this plane. Yeah, I'm going to need some compensation.
That part, and more than a voucher for something to drink. Bianca, love you back. Thank you so much. Dustin. Yeah, what about if you a vegan? Go ahead, Dustin.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna say, Dave, and this is gonna be what I'm gonna say, and everybody don't have to agree with it.
Okay.
I don't. I'm glad that KFC gave them some food because I can't handle having no food on a plane, especially if you're stuck on a plane for so many hours. Because the way my stomach is, I have something. If my stomach gets emptied out, if I don't eat it, if I don't eat within a certain amount of time, my stomach starts hurting.
So you need your food while you're on a 12-hour flight. I hear you.
Yeah.
Shay, you can't bring liquids through what do they call it when you got to pass through? I want to call it TSA. You can't bring anything liquid, but you can have some, popcorn in your bag that's sealed or whatever the case may be. You just can't have liquids. And then once you pass through TSA, they usually have, it's expensive, I don't know what, but they have the little convenience stores and all that. Then you could buy some liquids and stuff. Let me
ask you a question, Dave, real quick.
Yes.
Was the KFC was it already in the plane, or was it?
No, they had to go buy it. They went and bought it.
They bought the KFC. So I wonder who bought it. Was it the plane that bought it, or did the people?
No. It's the people, the flight attendants went out and bought it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know if it was already on the, if they was already like had the food on the plane, if they went on board it. But I agree they needed food on the plane, especially if it was a 12-hour flight. Because I wouldn't be able to eat. I wouldn't be able to go.
That part.
Get
Yeah.
on a 12-hour flight without no food.
Yeah, just one piece. No, not no biscuit. You saw little mama, she just had her chicken on a napkin. You better make it last, okay? And no biscuits, okay? E, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I don't eat legs. I eat breasts and wings. And that's first. You'll be dumb, stupid, or both if you ever thought to serve me chicken on the white napkin. You got to get your mind right. We're talking about a 12-hour flight. We're talking about a 12-hour flight. Stop being
Better get a
ridiculous.
plate.
So you mean to tell me nobody could run to Safeway really quick to get a plug-in deep fryer and some packs of pork chops and some canned green beans and some Hawaiian rolls? Diva,
Come on.
I'm not buying it. Or at the very least, 19 packs of white bread and 52 packs of sandwich meat, some Lay's, Doritos, and Capri Suns. It's more that could have been done. One piece of chicken, and KFC chicken gets cold fast. I don't eat KFC. I eat Popeyes. But I'm telling you, you thought that from first class
Give me
all the
them
way back.
Cajun fries.
You're talking. That's right, Cajun Fry. Thank you, baby. I love that. You're talking about coming from first class, going all the way back to the back, and you think the chicken stay with that is an insult. That is an insult. These people need to be refunded. Don't give me a voucher for a 75-cent drink that you're gonna overcharge me $2.35 for. No, you need to refund me 25% for my ticket because now I am getting off of my plane. I may have to go to a conference and you have just upset my mood and you've disturbed my travels. I'm not having a good experience. I need 25% back.
Child, give me all my money back. That was a mess. Denzel, what are your thoughts?
Hot mess. One piece of chicken.
Diva, can
Just
I speak
one
after
piece.
Denzel?
Huh?
Huh?
Can I speak after Denzel?
Yes, I didn't mean to skip you. Yep, you
Okay.
can. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, Denzel.
One piece of chicken, no sides, no biscuits, nothing to drink. They were messy. I mean, I know that was good that they bought them some chicken from KFC, but what about the people that don't like chicken? That was very vegetarian. They gonna let them starve? They were messy for that. Wow.
They were messy for that.
That's it, Diva.
Thank you. Julius, you're up. Julius?
I mean, like my comments, I mean, if like poor planning and then people paid all that money for that little seat. It's like, you know, you had to go out and get some KFC, but like in my opinion said, y'all couldn't run to the nearest Walmart, get some bologna, ham, cheese, some bread, and go into the snack aisle and get some tea, pour it in a little cup thing. Well, shoot, since we're talking about some good food and all of that, might as well get the fried chicken, you know, food it up a little bit. Everything else, better get you a portable oven, add in some baked beans and some.
Y'all want to just set the plane on fire. Now, you know
Listen.
what? They could have went and got some Lunchables and some water. Yes,
Listen.
they could have went and got some Lunchables and some water, something.
Proper planning, because folks is paying money, especially a 12-hour flight. Listen, I have a severe fear of heights as it is. I'm gonna make sure my food right before I even step foot on the plane. And I've been on a plane before.
Okay, period. And Diva, don't say it's gonna catch on fire because the way they plug up them supercomputers in first class and them big old multiple iPhones, don't do it. The plane can support that.
I cannot.
Oh my God.
Alicia, what are your thoughts?
Let me say this. I'm stunned by what Emmanuel said. Turks and Caicos is not an inexpensive island. That airport is very tiny. It is not like you're coming into a JFK International. a Chicago Midway, an Atlanta Hartsville. Oh no, it's a very island-based small island. You go to Turks and Caicos, everything is expensive. A bottle of water can run you like $12. So I'm on a flight for 12 hours. You fly, let's say, East Coast down to Turks and Caicos. Your flight is probably like 8-something round trip. So I have no idea what it is to be 12 on a 12-hour flight. And now you're telling me, after maybe I tossed out the last sandwich that I had or the bottle of water when I was coming to TSA, that we don't have any food for you on the flight, the food's spoiled. Well, you have to come up with something different. I'm not doing a 12-hour flight. What about the folks who are diabetics? What about the folks who dehydrate, eat? But we're going to be on here with a piece of greasy chicken, the whole flight smelling like fried chicken? No, ma'am. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to have to get off. I'm going to stay another day. This is not a flight to DR or Puerto Rico that you're there 4 hours, you're up and down, and maybe you can handle it. 12 hours is considerable. And you paid a lot of money, and you paid to have good customer service and to be well taken care of. Oh, no. I'm with E. Don't bring me no chicken. Just tell me, okay, the flight tomorrow, and I'll go stay at another place for another night.
That part, yeah. Sheila, your thoughts?
I personally think they didn't think about it, because there were other places. Even if they had went to several different fast food places to get a meal, they didn't even get the coleslaw for the people who were vegetarians. And then to give you a portion or to give you a voucher just to get a bottle of water, no, you're gonna have to give me my whole fare back.
They should have gave them a voucher for another ticket and a food voucher. Yeah, for sure they should have.
And I'll say this: I'm in agreement. If I can't get my wing, I don't want nothing.
You know what? No, when I did eat chicken, I had certain parts that I ate too, and I used to love the chicken wing because I don't like the breast was just too much, and and if I couldn't get the chicken wing, give me a leg, but don't just be. And then I only got one option.
No choices.
I get one piece. Get out of here. And on a napkin, I can't put this thing on the tray because it's on this napkin. It was horrible. They tried, but it was an epic fail. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
Okay. I see both sides to this. Yes, the people paid a lot of money for their flight and everything, but at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed because life is not guaranteed. Life is not fair. So I really can't feel bad for you if you're just unprepared, because life is not guaranteed. Like, nothing is fair. And
what? I'm unprepared? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me mute. Sorry.
Well, the airline did not make sure they had food, but the people didn't make sure that they had a good, reputable airline to make sure that they did have food. So therefore, you got what you deserved. You decided to fly British Airlines or whatever it was. I think it was Ryanair. It's either one or the other.
Sebastian, he was on the road earlier.
He always with the foolery. He always with the foolery.
The foolery.
I've been with you all day, Sebastian, and then you let me down in the last minutes.
You cannot do this. Like, you can't. You have to make sure that you're picking good airlines. And another thing is, there was food at the gate. Y'all could have bought food.
It's not about the airline.
Yeah, they had a mishap. They had to throw out the food that was in the cart, and they did some quick thinking, so they wouldn't have to delay the flight. They messed up. Now they know better. But who on that airline? What black flight attendant said, "Let's go get some KFC"?
Why didn't they go to the next plane and get the food from that plane?
The black flight attendant was like, KFC. No, you got to make this thing neutral.
Well, Diva,
McDonald's?
since Sebastian said that, we chose the wrong airline, I tell you what to do. Anybody on that flight, if you're listening, call down to Chase Bank or Bank of America. Tell them that you did not receive the service as advertised
That
and dispute
part.
the
Come
charges
on,
and
E.
get your money back.
Come on.
Get
Exactly.
your money back, okay? Get your money back. Listen,
Money
guys,
back.
I'm at time. I love y'all. Gotta go. It was Friday night trending topics. Prayers to the 5-year-old.
Yes.
Definitely.
Prayers to
Because
him.
that is
Yes.
so incredibly sad.
It is.
Carlee, Russell, I hope you get help. I want you and the whole family to go to counseling at the very least, and we'll talk
You need
about
a whole lot of
what's
Jesus.
Biden, what Biden's dog name again?
Commander.
Commander.
They
Commander.
in Delaware.
Commander needs some help too.
They need to
Uh-huh.
move back home, Diva. This is not the first instance of their dogs biting people.
I know they had to
Exactly.
send away the first dog, and then they got this one, and he's still biting people.
Unacceptable.
But you know what that should tell you? It must be the company he keeps.
Oh, yeah.
It's the owner, right? Because he a bad daddy. He a bad dog daddy. But no, listen, guys.
Mhm.
Commander, we're going to have to talk about him. Because, I'm not one to say nothing bad about the furry friends, but he need help. He need counseling. He done bit 10 people. He's angry. Why is he angry? Why is Commander angry? Now, listen, y'all, listen, we'll deal with this story another day, but let me just show this to y'all. I promise y'all need to go read it so we can talk about it. Why is he angry? He's angry, and we need to know why, okay? According to the records, at least one officer went to the hospital after being bitten, and then they was trying to hide the other bites because he done bit about 10 people.
That means they didn't
Wow.
give him his doggy bone.
Yeah, look right here. Look right here. Service personnel at least 10 times between October 22 and January. He just over there chomping on the people. And then the other dog they had to send away.
Lord have mercy.
Send the other dog away. So the last dog was in there biting people. I can't deal with Commander tonight, but you know what? He need counseling. Do they have doggy counseling?
Definitely.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but they need
you
it.
know what? They do have classes for 'em. I'll tell you that much. They do have classes. I have a huge dog, and he doesn't bite anybody, but most people are afraid of him because they think he will bite them. But yeah, they need to do some kind of training with that dog. There's something wrong that these dogs are biting people.
The dogs have been to behavioral training, but the Bidens always like to get these rescue dogs, and their dogs have been known, whether it's the dog down there in where they live, I forget where he lives, and or in the White House.
Scranton.
In Delaware.
In Delaware,
Mhm.
dogs are known to bite people. So we know that some of the Secret Service ain't legit. So if the dog biting you, I'm like, well, you're the problem.
I keep telling you guys, it's the company they're keeping.
Yeah, I don't.
And nothing against rescue dogs. My dog is a rescue dog, but we got him as a puppy.
Yeah. Listen, we about to close out. Deborah said Commander needs a muzzle. I agree. Sheila, don't do that to Commander. She said put Commander down. Oh my.
No.
Right. Somebody said is Commander. Don't do that. Was that Commander's cocoa they found in the White House the other day? Dying right. They may need to give him anti-anxiety meds. They need something. Because what are you talking about? Bit the people 10 times? That's messy boost. Thank you so much for the super chat. The only channel where BW are fair towards Carlee. Oh, well, you think we were fair? Because some people was beating us down, said we wasn't fair. Okay?
Right.
But you know what?
Let's let them remain nameless.
Pepper Natural, I like you. Okay, now you felt we was fair. I ain't mad at you. Okay, come on now. They need a different breed. They need something because Commander over there biting the people. But listen, guys, I love y'all. Thanks for being here. See y'all next time for trending topics or whatever it is we're gonna go over.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yes, have a good night. And listen,
have a good weekend.
Go check out the org chart for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm devastated.
I saw it.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's
Sheree in the first seat, as she should. The Grand Dame of Atlanta, Sheree Whitfield, got that first seat.
Who's
yes.
that? Who's
Okay.
that?
And then they put
Emmanuel said
candy
it.
at the end. That's
As she should.
ridiculous.
As she should.
Thank you, Sheila. It's ridiculous, okay?
Yes, it is.
Sheree and Drew got the first chance.
Snooze fest.
I guess that's
Denzel, you got cut. You dropped off from it.
No, I was saying. I guess that's Andy's favorites.
I guess so.
I made a mistake.
I see you next
All right.
time.
Love you, Diva. Love y'all. You have a
Good
blessed
night. You
weekend.
guys have a great weekend.
Bye bye.